the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni courtroom drama is over? Think again. One expert says, don't pop the champagne just yet, because this legal war is just getting started. What looked like a major legal victory for Blake Lively might actually be just a pause before the next round. On June 9th, a federal judge dismissed Justin Baldoni's massive countersuit, a $400 million claim against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. Also tossed, his $250 million defamation suit against the New York Times. But before you call it case closed, legal expert Gregory Dahl has a warning. This is a blow for Baldoni, sure, but the battle is far from over, says the LA-based attorney, who's not involved in the case. He points out that Baldoni can still revise and refile two major claims by June 23rd, one for breach of contract and another for tortious interference, basically alleging that Lively and Reynolds pressured his agency to drop him. One wrong move, and a courtroom win today could become an appellate nightmare tomorrow. That's the brutal game of high-stakes litigation, and Baldoni's not backing down. According to Dahl, even with the judge's decision, this case could still end in a private settlement like most civil lawsuits do. But Lively's camp clearly sees this moment as a triumph, calling the dismissal a total victory. Lively herself took to Instagram, calling the case against her defeated and linking to women's rights organizations in celebration. Baldoni's lawyer Brian Friedman quickly hit back, accusing Lively's team of spinning a false victory. He insists her allegations are just as unproven as when the suit started, and confidently warned, "We're moving forward, and I'll be personally handling Lively's deposition." So what's still in play? First, Baldoni can attempt to reassert that Lively and Reynolds influenced their agency, WME, to drop him. WME denies this. Second, there's the contract claim over the film It Ends With Us. Baldoni alleges that Lively didn't uphold her duties in good faith when it came to creative approvals. And what happens if Baldoni amends the claims? Lively's team will almost certainly file another motion to dismiss, setting the stage for more legal fireworks. As for the defamation case against the New York Times, Dahl says it probably wasn't expected to win. It looks more like a PR move, a way to get Baldoni's version of the story into the public eye. This isn't a courtroom finale. It's just intermission. The trial is still set for March 2026. And if one thing's clear, it's that both sides are lawyering up for a long, ugly battle. The $400 million lawsuit against her? Crushed. But that's just round one. On June 9th, a federal judge officially tossed out Justin Baldoni's eye-popping $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively, and her attorneys are calling it nothing short of a complete vindication. In a fiery statement, lawyers Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb didn't hold back. From the start, this lawsuit was a sham, and the court saw right through it. They're now going after Baldoni and his associates for attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive penalties, claiming the entire case was abusive litigation. You sue for $400 million, and the judge calls it baseless. That's not just a loss. It's a legal backfire with consequences. Baldoni and his production team, the Wayfarer parties, alleged Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and publicist Leslie Sloan were part of an extortion and defamation plot. He also sued the New York Times for $250 million after the paper published a damning investigative piece titled "We Can Bury Anyone." But Judge Louis J. Lyman saw it differently. In his decision, he said Baldoni's team failed to prove that Lively, Reynolds, or Sloan made any false or reckless statements that would rise to legal defamation. Specifically, the judge wrote that the only statements Lively made were in her legal complaint, and those are protected under privilege. As for Reynolds, Sloan, and the Times, the court ruled that no credible evidence showed they seriously doubted the truth of their statements, a requirement for defamation under U.S. law. Despite the sweeping dismissal, Baldoni's legal team still has one last shot. The judge is allowing them to amend two specific claims, breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contract, by June 23rd. If they go that route, Lively's attorneys are expected to immediately file another motion to dismiss. So the legal chess match continues. And while Baldoni continues to deny all of Lively's original allegations, which include sexual harassment and retaliation, the judge's ruling is clear. This lawsuit, in its current form, is dead in almost the water. Lively's team says they're not just defending her reputation, they're holding the other side accountable for what they call a weaponized legal stunt. And the courtroom fireworks? Far from over, Justin Baldoni's attorney is breaking his silence after his $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively was dismissed by the judge. The It Ends With Us actor-director's lawyer, Brian Friedman, said Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false. On June 9th, Judge Louis J. Lyman granted motions to dismiss Baldoni's countersuit against Lively, 37, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, which alleged extortion and defamation, as well as his $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times. The judge noted that Baldoni's legal team can still amend the claims for breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contract, with a deadline of June 23rd. Friedman added, "This case is about false accusations of sexual harassment and retaliation and a non-existent smear campaign, which Ms. Lively's own team conveniently describes as untraceable because they cannot prove what never happened." Baldoni's legal setback is the latest twist in the It Ends With Us legal saga, which began in December when Lively sued him for misconduct on the set and a retaliatory smear campaign, claims which he has denied. Most importantly, Ms. Lively's own claims are no truer today than they were yesterday. And with the facts on our side, we march forward with the same confidence that we had when Ms. Lively and her cohorts initiated this battle and look forward to her forthcoming deposition, which I will be taking. Friedman added in his statement, "We are grateful for the organic show of support from the public and for the dedication of the internet sleuth community who continue to cover the case with discernment and integrity." Pointing to a California law passed in the wake of the non-Me Too movement, Judge Lyman ruled that Lively's sexual harassment allegations were legally protected and couldn't be used as grounds for a defamation claim. Further, Baldoni and his fellow plaintiffs associated with production company Wayfarer Studios have not alleged that Reynolds, publicist Leslie Sloan, or The Times would have seriously doubted Lively's initial claims, which doesn't prove they defamed Baldoni, the judge wrote. Lively's legal team called the judge's decision a total victory and a complete vindication in a statement. As we have said from day one, this $400 million lawsuit was a sham, and the court saw right through it. On her Instagram stories on Monday, Lively wrote of the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit, linking to several women's rights organizations. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's right to have a voice in protecting themselves. She concluded, "With love and gratitude for the many who stood by me. Many of you I know, many of you I don't. But I will never stop appreciating or advocating for you.